Well, you enjoying it so far? Pluto back in Capricorn? Or is it kicking your ass around a little bit? You know, the fact that Pluto is back in Capricorn until January 20th of next year means hallelujah, praise Jesus. We all get to lean into our purpose again. And I actually think this is a good thing because Pluto in Aquarius is great, you know, but it can kind of be like the electrician that goes around trying to fucking work on too many different circuit breakers at one time, and he fails to realize that if the electricity's arcing everywhere and things aren't fully grounded, that it doesn't work. You know, you promise a big show, you promise something for the crowd, you promise that what it is that you're doing in life is going to be great and going out and connecting in the world and the people, and then the big show comes and then nothing happens because we have to stay grounded now with Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto in Aquarius, like, it's deep, it's powerful, but it can be a little bit all over the place. And so I think it's actually a blessing that Pluto's back in Capricorn now, reminding us to ground, reminding us to focus on what's that big focal point. What's that thing that you really came here to do? Your purpose doesn't have to necessarily look like the physical thing, because that's the funny thing about Pluto is it's a very strong energetic thing, but it's the energetic thing that actually materializes the construction of like building the arches, so to speak, the high-rise public legacy-oriented things that you're going to be known for. So the most important thing is you really put your passion out into the world. I think sometimes were getting tripped up with Pluto and Capricorn prior to coming back here. I know even I was at times of going like, okay, like, you know, it's got to be this physical thing, and then this is going to give me the power. This is going to give me the juice. Instead of realizing it's like, no, that's a capitalist thinking that you actually have to be your own walking billboard of the empowerment and the truth fucking being that you are in your power. And then that creates those things, that creates those frequencies. So it's really important to remind ourselves that, yes, of course, with this energy comes maybe a little bit of scarcity of what's going on in the world, you know, maybe with currency systems, Uranus and Taurus. So, you know, we're back into more Earth. You've got Jupiter here now, North Node's here. I mean, that Saturn, Neptune, and Pisces, it's like, you might as well whitewash what the media is saying and just stick to what your intuition is really truly saying within yourself about how to build and how to move things forward. And, you know, having a consistent, stable approach to things, but not doing it in such like a monotonous way that it's actually causing psychological issues. Because I felt that for myself. It's like the unconscious like pressure, you know, to like perform and do things. And these transits, especially with Venus that's going to go retrograde in Leo, Mars in Leo, is a reminder, like, we want to do, the courage is doing things with passion and purpose. It's not forcing ourselves to do something to get to the place to have it, you know, to feel the power or to have the money or have the connections or whatever. The courage really is to drop a lot of this conditioning, you know, that honestly these transits pull up to, especially here in Pisces and Capricorn, of like how we show up, like what's the governing body, like what's really pushing you, especially with Saturn in Pisces, with its home sign being Capricorn where Pluto's at, and that South Node in Scorpio will especially bring up, you know, can bring up weird psychological stuff around, you know, who are you really pledging to, like who are you doing things for, like what's the motivation, what's the empowerment, like is it still like a Stockholm syndrome thing? I've been there, you know, of like a parental program, or it could even be societal programming. We got to look at these things, but we don't want to look at them too long. We just catch them in the moment. It's like walking as you're planting, tilling the fields, the garden, and you see a weed and you don't go, oh, I need to pluck that thing later, because you keep doing that. You walk long enough, you know, you've got decades worth of weeds from your conditioning to deal with, and then it becomes overwhelming because you can't get to all of them. And then you're not in the present moment like anymore. You're not in the vibration, in the fluidity, in the flow of actually dealing with what is the block of you actually manifesting your best life, of living your truth, of living your purpose and your empowerment. Pluck the weed as you go along, you know, and don't even like leave it in the garden. Like, like cleanse it, like throw it in the wheelbarrow, like dispose of it properly, take all the proper Taurus steps to actually, make meaning of it and ensure your sense of completion with it, right? This Venus that's going to go retrograde in Leo here, not yet, but I mean, it's here, it's in Leo, and it's going to be here till September 3rd. Actually, the retrograde won't end until September 3rd, so it's got even longer than that. But it's like, with the money situations that I wanted to circle back to, it's like, take the top-down approach. Start with your purpose. Start with like what you're here to do. Start with that passion. Start with that creative element, and like let that passion, that creativity fuel things instead of, choosing like a monotonous thing. That's the old 3D model. That's the old way of like approaching things, is to like go and like do this shit, just to like make it happen and then be there. And this is what creates a lot of pain and suffering, is because, we try to operate with these reference points of, oh, if I do this, then this will happen. That's what Pluto's been doing since 2008, is showing us like, fuck you and your plans. Like, I'm the Grim Reaper. I'm going to end this so that you can actually have it better, be here, do the real thing that you came here to be and create, especially with all the Taurus, and like, go do it. Serve with your best skill set. Show up. The world needs it. They need people showing up and not falling for the stupid ass spells anymore. Love y'all. Take care.